Myron Boy Theater. From there, From there, one Montana student will win a trip to Washington, D.C. to compete for $20,000 or $10,000 and other great scholarships to the school of their choice.
Contestants also win money for their local school libraries to buy books of poetry for their collections. Thank yous and introductions are on the program attached. Please enjoy.
Wait,
Our first poet, our first poet is going to be Ray Frisbee, a senior here at Hellgate. And yeah, best of luck to Ray.
Refusing Silence by Tess Gallagher. Heartbeat trembling, your kingdom of leaves near the ceremony of water. I never insisted upon you. I admit, I delayed. I was the empress of delay. But it can't be put off now. On the sacred branch of my only voice, I insist. Insist for us all, which is the job of the voice, especially of the poet. Else, what am I for? What use am I do not insist. There are messages to send, gatherings and songs, because we need to insist. Else, what are we for? What use are we?
hi folks. We didn't introduce ourselves in that last little bit of time. So I'm Bridget Leonard. I go here at Hellgate.
See.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Bridget, not Brigid.
Brigitte,
Brigide.
Brigert, Brigand. I've been called a lot of names.
It is Bridget. And I am Laura Cradkin. I am a junior here at Hellgate. And,
We're going to tell you some puns.
Yes, we are.
Let's go. Okay. So, why did the free verse poem ignore the sonnet?
Why, Bridget?
He didn't want to meet her.
That was good, Bridget. How does a poet sneeze?
How, Laura?
Haiku! Our next poet is Gabriella Pallister. Yeah, they look cool. Gabriella Pallister, a freshman. Good luck, Gabriella.
Ode on Solitude by Alexander Pope. Happy the man whose wish and care a few paternal acres bound, content to breathe his native air in his own ground, whose herds with milk, whose fields with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose trees in summer yield him shade, in winter fire. Blessed who can unconcernedly find hours, days, and years slide soft away, in health of body, peace of mind, quiet by day, sound sleep by night, study and ease, together mixed sweet recreation and innocence, which most does please with meditation. Thus, let me live, unseen, unknown. Thus unlamented, let me die, sealed from the world, and not a stone tell where I lie.
Let's get ready for another round of
Poetry fun!
everybody's favorite game. Okay, so what's Edgar Allan Poe's favorite TV show?
What is it, Bridget?
That's So Raven.
What does a poet say to Luke Skywalker?
I don't know, Laura, what is it?
Metaphors be with you. Oh, boy, our next poet is Colleen May, a senior from
Happy by Linda Pastor. It is more onerous than the rites of beauty or housework, harder than love, but you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up. Not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice, that downward tug on my mouth. My old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm dark strangled at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only my distant self would understand.
Bridget, where do poems come from?
Well, you see, when a mother poem...
Okay, it's poetries, but
Okay. Yep. What do you call an ode to your arms and legs?
an arm and leg ode.
That's wrong, Laura. It's a limerick.
Like L-I-M-E.
Woo!
That's great, Bridget. So, we would also just like to give a good thank you out to our librarians for helping us out with this tonight.
Okay, cool. And up next is Caitlin Shermer, a sophomore at Sentinel High School.
Please Don't by Tony Hoagland. Please don't tell the flowers. They think the sun loves them. The rain is under the same simple-minded impression about the grass, the fog, the dew. And when the wind blows, it feels so wonderful, they lose control of themselves and swab toggle wildly around, bumping accidentally into their slender neighbors. Forgetful little lotus eaters, high on the expensive chemistry of mitochondrial explosion, believing that the dirt loves them, the night, the stars. Solar-powered hydraulics drawing nourishment up through stems into their thin green skin. They don't imagine lawnmowers, four stomachs of the cow, or human beings with boots who stop to marvel at their exquisite flexibility and color. They persist in their light-hearted hallucinage of happiness. But please don't mention it. Not yet. Tell me, what would you possibly gain from being right?
So, back to what we were saying earlier, we would like to thank our librarians. First, Miss Gant. Hand for Miss Gant, please.
It's really cool.
Okay. And also Miss Burkhart for the help that she's given. And all of our poets for poeting today.
Without you, we wouldn't have an event to make jokes at.
That's a shame.
Okay, want to hear another joke?
Sure.
Okay, cool. What do you call fiction writers who try to write poetry?
What?
Prosers. And up next is Anna Hadinger, a junior at Flatneck High School.
Absidarian requiring further examination of Anglican seraphim subjugation of a wild Indian reservation by Natalie Diaz. Angels don't come to the reservation. Bats, maybe, or owls, boxy, mottled things. Coyotes, too, they all mean the same thing. Death. And death eats angels, I guess, because I haven't seen an angel fly through this valley ever. Gabriel? Never heard of him. Know a guy named Gabe, though. He came through here one powwow and stayed. Typical Indian. Sure, he had wings. Jailbird that he was. He flies around in stolen cars. Wherever he stops, kids grow like gourds from women's bellies. Like I said, no Indian I've ever heard of has ever been or seen an angel. Maybe in a Christmas pageant or something. Nazarene Church holds one every December, organized by Pastor John's wife. It's no wonder Pastor John's son is the angel. Everyone knows angels are white. Quit bothering with angels, I say. They're no good for Indians. Remember what happened last time some white god came floating across the ocean? Truth is, there may be angels, but if there are angels up there, living on clouds or sitting on thrones across the sea wearing velvet robes and golden rings, drinking whiskey from silver cups, we're better off if they stay rich and fat and ugly and exactly where they are, in their own distant heavens. You better hope you never see angels on the res. If you do, they'll be marching you off to Zion, or Oklahoma, or some other hell they've mapped out for us.
The More Loving One, by W.H. Auden. Looking up at the stars, I know quite well that for all they care, I can go to hell. But on earth, indifference is the least we have to dread, for man or beast. How should we like it were stars to burn with a passion for us we could not return? If equal affection cannot be, let the more loving one be me. Admirer, as I think I am, of stars that do not give a damn. I cannot, now I see them, say I miss one terribly all day. Were all stars to disappear or die, I should learn to look at an empty sky and feel its total dark sublime, though this might take me a little time.
Okay. We're gonna read a little poem here. Let's do this one. Okay. Reflection on hospital hospitality. One eats no meats, just jello and beans, and soups, and schlops of cream and wheats. That's me.
Inspirational, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna introduce the next poet here. Very slowly. Our next poet is Kendall, never mind, Sydney Schaff, a senior from Big Sky High School. Woo!
Keeping Things Whole by Mark Strand. In a field, I am the absence of field. This is always the case. Wherever I am what is missing. When I walk, I part the air. And always the air fills it. The spaces my body's been. We all have reasons for moving. I move to keep things whole.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Broken pencil.
Broken pencil who?
Never mind, it's pointless. I'm sure you've heard this one before, Joe, and I apologize in advance, but Joe McDonald had a farm. Yay. Go get him, buddy. Woo!
Some of my jokes? Okay, here we go. We'll tell them after the break. Okay. Woo, Joe McDonald.
Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor's passion, which well those passions survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away.
Y'all ready for this joke? Okay. What's heavier, Laura? 200 pounds of bricks or 200 pounds of feathers?
I don't know, Bridget, what?
200 pounds of feathers. You have to carry the 200 pounds and the weight of what you did to those poor birds.
Thank you for lightening the mood, Bridget. Would you please introduce the next poem?
I sure can. All right, we have Kennedy Weiner. She's a senior at Hamilton H's High School. Woo! Go get him, Kennedy.
Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you here. Before we get an okay from the judges, Kennedy, I do like the spelling of your name. That's new and improved.
Life by Edith Wharton. Life, like a marble block, is given to all, a blank, inchoate mass of years and days. Once one with ardent chisel, swift essays some shape of strength or symmetry to call. One shatters it in bits to mend the wall. One in a craftier hand the chisel lays, and one to wake the mirth in Lesbia's gaze, carves it apace in toys fantastical. But least is he who, with enchanted eyes filled with high visions of fair shapes to be, muses which god he shall immortalize in the proud Parian's perpetuity. Till twilight warns him from the punctual skies, that the night cometh wherein none shall see.
And now the SpongeBob SquarePants theme.
Sweetness by Stephen Dunn. Just when it seemed I couldn't bear one more friend walking with a tumor, one more maniac with a perfect reason. Often, a sweetness has come and changed nothing in the world, except for the way I stumbled through it, lost in the ignorance of loving someone or something. The world shrunk to mouth size, hand size, and never seeming small. I acknowledge there is no sweetness that doesn't leave a stain, no sweetness that is ever sufficiently sweet. Tonight, a friend called to say that his lover was killed in a car. He was driving. His voice was low and guttural. He repeated the few words that he needed to repeat, and I repeated the one or two words we had for such grief, until we were only speaking in tones. Often the sweetness comes as if on loan, stays long enough to make sense of what it means to be alive, then returns to its dark source. As for me, I don't care where it's been or what bitter road it's traveled to come so far, to taste so good.
Hey, Bridget. I got a job working in a hayfield. And one day I bailed.
Would you walk out in the morning into the grass and say, "Hey there, world"?
No, I would not. Who's the next reader?
Well, you see, we've got Geneva DeLongs, a senior at Polson High School. Yeah.
Yeah, and she will be reading Mad Song by William Blake.
You read the wrong one.
Pride by Yusuf Komunyika. Crowned with a feathered helmet, not for disguise or courtship dance, he looks like something birthed by swallowing its tail, woven from a selfish design and guesswork, as if masked with a see-through call from breast to hip bone. His cold breath silvers panes of his hilltop house as he leans against a window into a double reflection, silhouetted almost into a woman. He can beg forgiveness now as he leans against a window overlooking Narcissus's pond, choked with the memory of lilies.
We apologize for that last little mix-up. That's what happens sometimes when you're thinking on your feet and you're looking at the program. Okay. Yeah. So up next, we're gonna read a poem. We're gonna read each part in between rounds. It's called "Love Song with Two Goldfish." It's super cute, and everybody.
We're actually just going to introduce it now and start it next. So, our next poet is Nicholas Stone, a senior from Thompson Falls High School.
Mad Song by William Blake. The wild winds weep, the night is a cold. Come hither, sleep, in my griefs enfold. But lo, the morning peeps over the eastern steeps. The rustling birds of dawn the earth do scorn. Lo, to the vault of paved heaven. With sorrow fraught my notes are driven. They strike the ear of night, wake Strike the ear of night, make weep the eyes of day, and make mad the roaring winds in the tempest's play. Like a fiend in a cloud, howling woe. After night I do crowd, and with night I go. I turn my back to the east, from whence comforts have increased. The light doth seize my brain with frantic pain.
So, to continue this poem. Love song with two goldfish. He's a drifter, always floating around her, has nowhere else to go. He wishes she would sing, not much, just the scales, or take some notice. Give him the fisheye. To be continued.
Okay, next up we have Macaulay Morrison. He's a junior at Polson High School.
Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the silly toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All misme were the borough and the mome rats out gray. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that scratch. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the maxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock, with eyes aflame, came whiffling through the tubbly wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, through and through, the vorpal blade went snicker snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went gluming back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy, O fragile Luke lay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the silly toves did gyre and gimble in the way. All misme were the borough and the mome rats out gray.
Love Song Two Goldfish, Part 2. Bounded by round walls, she makes fish eyes and kissy lips at him, darts behind pebbles, swallows his charm, hook, line, and sinker.
The next poet is Jordan Amaya, sophomore from Central High School.
Woo!
Let It Be Forgotten by Sarah Teasdale. Let it be forgotten, as a flower is forgotten, forgotten as a fire that once was singing gold. Let it be forgotten forever and ever. Time is a kind friend, he will make us old. If anyone asks, say it was forgotten, long and long ago. As a flower, as a fire, as the hushed football in a long forgotten snow.
Love Song with Two Goldfish, Part 3. He's bowled over. He would take her to the ocean. They could count the waves. There, in the submarine silence, they would share their deepest secrets, dive for pearls like stars. Yeah. This poem is one of Bridget's favorites, actually.
It is. We read it in Ivy. Up next is Jordan Amaya. She's a sophomore.
It's Taylor Owens, a sophomore from Polson High School.
I'm so sorry, Taylor, you rock.
Midnight Office by Cynthia Cruz. The child is not dead. She is sleeping, gone from this world which is broken. The angel of Michael outside the garden, his circle of fire maddening around the tree. He put the word back into her, a heavy kind of music. Then she was free, as we all are. All night I stood in the icy wind, praying for the storm to destroy me. But the wind blew through me, like I was a hologram.
If you say I'm a mystic, then fine. I'm a mystic. The trees are not trees anyway.
Y'all ready for part 4? Okay. But her love's since gone belly up. His heart sinks like a fish. He drinks like a stone. Drowns those sorrows, stares emptily through the glass. Wow, what you guys do is hard. Like, I have mad respect for y'all.
We especially have respect for Emily Solberg, singing for Big Skies.
Horns by Kwame Dawes. In every crowd, there is the one with horns, casually moving through bodies as if this is the living room of a creature with horns. A long cloak and the song of tongues on the lips of the body. To see the horns, one's heart rate must reach 175 beats per minute, at a rate faster than the blink of an eye. For the body with horns lives in the space between the blink and light. Slow down the blink, and somewhere in the white space between sight and sightlessness is twilight. In that place, that gap, the stop time, the horn-headed creatures appear, spinning, dancing, strolling through the crowd. And in the fever of revelation, you will understand why the shaman is filled with the hubris of creation, why the healer forgets herself and feels like angels about to take flight. My head throbs under the mosquito mesh. The drums do not stop through the night. The one with horns feeds me sour porridge and nuts and sways. Welcome, welcome.
This is the 5th and final stanza.
The reason she said she wanted
And he could not give.
a life beyond the...
Bowl.
At this moment, I would like to thank our lovely tech runner right now. Her name is Sophia Thompson. She is a wonderful lady.
Woo!
We would also like to introduce the next reader, who is Shaylee Emerson, a sophomore from Flathead High School.
I am learning to abandon the world by Linda Paston. I am learning to abandon the world before it can abandon me. Already I have given up the moon and snow, closing my shades against the claims of white. The world has taken my father, my friends. I have given up melodic lines of hills, moving to a flat, tuneless landscape, and every night I give my body up, limb by limb, working upwards across the bone towards the heart. But morning comes with small reprieves of coffee and birdsong. A tree outside the window, which was simply shadows moments ago, takes back its branches twig by leafy twig, and as I take my body back, the sun lies its warm muzzle on my lap, as if to make amends.
Right now, we would like to start thanking some of our judges. Skylar Salvatore is an MFA poet in the UM Creative Writing Program. Her poems have appeared in, oh goodness,
A lot of cool places.
like Cosmonauts Avenue.
Thank you for coming here tonight.
Yes, we are happy to have the audience we have here tonight. It means a lot to our poets, and I would like to thank you all out there.
Alrighty then. Should we read a poem? Let's read a poem.
No, we should not. So,
Okay. Up next we have Cody Williams, a senior at Thompson Falls High School.
To Darren by Edward Markham. I would my soul were like the bird who dares the vastness undeterred. Look upon the bough. Look on the bough. Bluebird breaks into rapture even now. He sings, tip-top the tossing elms, as though he would a world o'erwhelm. Indifferent to the void he rides, upon the wind's eternal tides. He tosses gladly on the gale, for he knows that he cannot fail. Knows if the bough breaks, still his wings will bear him upward while he sings.
Okay, the next judge we'd like to thank / introduce is Karen Schlom. Sorry. Her poems have been published all over the place, such as in Canis, Cupbank, The Sun, and lots of other really cool journals. She's also the UM Creative Writing Program Coordinator, so wow, that's pretty neat. Doing a lot of stuff. So, thank you so much for coming to judge for us.
Yes, really appreciate our judges. Woo. Our next reader is Maya Winhaber-Neski, a junior from Hellgate High School.
Bleeding Heart by Carmen Jimenez Smith. My heart is bleeding. It bleeds upward and fills my mouth up with salt. It bleeds because of a city in ruins, the chair still warm from sister's body, because it will all be irreproducible. My heart bleeds because of baby bear not finding mama bear. And it bleeds to the tips of my fingers like I painted my nails crimson. Sometimes, my heart bleeds so much I am a reason. It bleeds until I am a quivering, ragged clot. Bleeds at the ending with the heroine and her sunken cancer eyes. At the ending with the plaintive flute over smoke-choked killing fields. I'm bleeding a river of blood right now, and it's wearing a culvert in me for the blood. My heart rises up in me, becomes the cork of me, and I choke on it. I am bleeding for you, and for me, and for the tiny babies and the IED-blown leg. It bleeds because I'm made that way. All filled up with blood. My sloppy heart a sponge, filled with blood to squeeze onto any circumstance. Because it is mine, it will always bleed. My heart bled today. It bled onto the streets and the steps of City Hall. It bled in the pizza parlor with the useless jukebox. I've got so much blood to give inside and outside of any milieu, even for a bad zoning decision. I'll bleed, so much you'll be bleeding. All of us bleeding, in and out, like it's breathing or kissing. And because it is righteous and terrible and red.
Right now, we'd like to thank Henrietta Goodman. She has a PhD and is an award-winning poet with 2 books to her credit, Hungry Moon and Take What You Want. She also teaches at the UM Writing Center. I gotta say, we have some good teachers there.
Up next is Ethan Seiler from Sentinel High School. Thank you.
The Lake Isle of Innisfree by William Butler Yeats. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there, clay and wattles made, 9 bean rows will I have there, and a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadways or on the pavement's gray. I hear it in the deep heart's core.
Hi, we'd like to say thanks more teachers right now who are helping in various ways. Jean Croxton, Jill Derryberry, Debbie Hendricks, Jeff Badenoch, and Julie Burkhardt. They're working as accuracy judges, tabulators, ushers, and student guides. Woo!
Our next reader is Gabrielle Maldonado, a senior from Big Sky High School.
Woo!
An Apology for Her Poetry by Duchess of Newcastle, Margaret Cavendish. A language wont to dress my fancies in, the hairs uncurled and the garments loose and thin. Had they but silver lace to make them gay, they'd be more courted than in poor array. Or had they art, would make a better show, but they are plain, yet cleanly do they go. The world in bravery doth take delight, and glistering shows do more attract the sight. And everyone doth honor a rich hood, as if the outside made the inside good. And everyone doth bow and take place, not for the man's sake, but for the silver lace. Let me entreat my poor book's behalf, that all will not adorn the golden calf. Consider, pray, God hath no life therein, and life and nature is the richest thing. Be just, let fancy have the upper place, and then my verses may perchance find grace.
I just want to say how lucky we are to have the judges that we have here tonight. Can we give a round of applause for them, please? We would also like to make a special thank you to Monica Grable. Good to know, thank you. We would also like to give a big thank you to Monica Grable. She came all the way from Helena tonight, so hand of applause.
Okay, so next up is Clara Parsons. She's a junior at Hellgate High School. Maggie.
Oh, we skipped Maggie. I'm so sorry, Maggie. Next up then is Maggie Hines, a junior from Chrysalis School. Thank you.
To have without holding, by Marge Piercy. Learning to love differently is hard. Love with the hands wide open, love with the doors banging on their hinges, the cupboard unlocked, the wind roaring and whimpering in the rooms, rustling the sheets and snapping the blinds that whack like rubber bands in an open palm. It hurts to love wide open, stretching the muscles that feel as though they are made of wet plaster, then of blunt knives, then of sharp knives. It hurts to thwart the reflexes of grab, clutch, to love and let go again and again. It pesters to remember the lover who's not in bed, To hold back what is owed to the work that gutters like a candle in a cave without air. To love consciously, conscientiously, concretely, constructively. I can't do it. You say it's killing me, but you thrive. You glow on the street like a neon raspberry. You float and sail, a helium balloon, bright bachelor's button blue and bobbing on the cold and hot winds of our breath. As we make and unmake in passionate diastole and systole, the rhythm of our unbound bonding. To have and not to hold, to love with minimized malice, hunger and anger, moment by moment, balanced.
We'd just like to apologize to Maggie Hines again for skipping her. That wasn't very, yeah.
Next, Bridget, hit it.
Oh, we're also sorry in advance for the song. Okay. Somebody once told me was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L-R-4. Okay.
Next poet.
Is Claire Parsons, a junior at Hellgate High School.
Thank you, Claire.
Good luck, Claire.
Undress by Ruby Robinson. There is an ash tree behind this house. You can see it from our bedroom window. If you stare at it for long enough, you'll see it drop a leaf. Stare at it now, you said, and notice the moment a leaf strips away from its branch, giving a twirl. Consider this. The ash tree unclosed itself Octoberly. From beside our bed, fingering the curtain, observe the dark candles at the top of that tree, naked and alert, tending to the breeze. A sheet of ice between the rooftops and the noiseless sky has turned the air inside out. Black veins of branches shake against the blue screen on which they hang. Small mammals are hibernating in pellets of warm air underground. But, in spite of the cold, this ash tree does not shy from shrugging off its coat, sloping its nude shoulders to the night. So, you said, undo, unbutton, unclasp, slowly remove, let down your hair, breathe out. Stand stark in this room until we remember how not to feel the chill. Stand at the window, put your arms right up like a tree. Yes, like that. Watch leaves drop.
Sorry again.
Yep. Hey now, game on, go play. Hey now, you're a poetry about, get the show on, get paid, and all those poems are gone. Only shooting stars break on. And up next.
It is Zach Wyland, sophomore from Central High School. Thank you, Zach.
The Conqueror Worm by Edgar Allan Poe. lonesome latter years, in angel throng, bewinged, bedight in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theatre to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Minds, in the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they who come and go at bidding of vast, formless things that shape the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh, be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth into the self-same spot, and much of madness and more of sin and horror, the soul of the plot. But see, amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that rides from out the scenic solitude. It rides, with mortal pangs the minds become its food, and seraphs saw at vermin fangs in human gore imbued. Out to the lights, out all, and over each quivering form, the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, so pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm the play is the tragedy, man, and its hero, the conqueror, Mirth.
Thank you. So next we're going to be bringing up Miss Gant to say a couple words about Poetry Out Loud at this wonderful event that she's helped set up so kindly. So, for Miss Gant, everybody. I'd like to give everybody just a little stretch. We're at the end of round one, so if you'd like to get up out of your seats, just kind of shake things off, yeah, stretch a little, maybe sing the 80s tune or something like that. Aren't these guys great? These guys are really even in there. It's the Bridget and Ellie show. And I know you guys didn't get the cell phone speech at the beginning, but I don't think we even needed to do it. You are so simple. It's awesome. If by any chance your cell phone is on, don't worry about it, because we have construction going on in this building all the time. Maybe you notice some rumblings and things dropping like copper pipes and things. And I apologize for that, but Hellgate is going through a major renovation right now. So hopefully that doesn't shake anybody too much. We'll also give the judges a little bit of a break and a big hand. This is a tough job tonight. Henrietta and Karen have been judging for years, and they're both accomplished poets. They really know what they're doing. And we have a newcomer tonight, Skylar, who's such a delight, and also a wonderful poet. So we're in good hands, really good hands. After they finish marking their tools, or whatever we're going to call this, the sheets go down to our lovely English teachers. They're doing the math, of course, as our joke, but they are awesome. They are precise and talented tabulators. That's Jill Derryberry and Debbie Hendricks. This is actually year 10 for these wonderful women doing this job. So they worked all day long, they taught all day long, and
now they're tallying all night long. And then on the book, we have two people tonight. We had Jeff Badnock for a little while, and now we have Jean Croxton, both awesome and precise wordsmiths in their own right. And Jean has also done this job for 10 years. Awesome, thank you. All right, as we're settling back down for round two, I'd love it if all the participants could come back and sit together over here. And as you're making your way over there, I just want to give a shout out to Monica Grable. She's our Montana State Poetry Out Loud coordinator. And she did come all the way from Helena to be here tonight. So thank you for coming, Monica, and for bringing this lovely sign. We've never been official like this. She's actually really working hard to make sure there's good communication in the state. So if you're here with your students tonight, be sure to say hello and check in so she can have a face to the email name. I know I listed some of the teachers from different schools that are here, but I just really want to thank you. I know what you do when you're back home. You help students pick poems, you help them rehearse, you coach them, you get them here, you just help them be the best they can. So thanks, teachers. And then let's not forget the parents, right? The parents, the grandparents, and your siblings that are here. Could you guys stand for a second? Parents, parents in the house. Thank you for being here and supporting everybody tonight. If you do have questions about Poetry Out Loud, there's an excellent website. It's poetryoutloud.org, and it outlines the whole competition. It has hundreds and hundreds of poems that the students have chosen from by the rock star poets of the United States and Britain and the world. And it's also a place where you can go to get information about other competitions. From here, the judges will choose 8 participants who will be invited to compete at the state level in Helena at the Myrna Loy Theater on March 3rd. No, not Myrna Loy.
It is March 3rd, but it is at the Grand Street Theater this year.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Grand Street Theater, which when I was a kid was the library. So it was originally a theater, turned back to a library, now a theater again. That's a great venue. Yeah. So that's a Saturday. It's a whole, well, most of the day of the best recitations in the state. From there, the judges, one of the judges will be our Poet Laureate of Montana. Help me, Monica. Lowell Gager. How can I forget? Lowell is just an amazing person that's bringing together poets across Montana, too. He's done a lot of work that way. And other writers and poets from Montana, they will judge. And the person that wins that competition earns a trip, a flight to DC in April. And they can take a parent, a favorite teacher, and that's a 3-day affair where you sit in an amazing theater, hear the best poetry you've ever heard in your life. It changes you. It's an amazing competition. There are students from all over the United States and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Your school wins money to buy books of poetry for your library. And of course, the trip itself is really something lots of visits on the mall there and the White House. Okay, did everybody take a breath? Who's back? Have a drink of water. We're going to get everybody in the right order this time, and hopefully this second round will be really interesting because I know that from just doing the program and sort of living with your faces and your bios for a while, that all of you participants have diversified your choices and probably thought about your strengths. And however this ends up, I said this earlier to you, you're going to walk out of here and always have a poem by heart. So I hope that you have fun and are relaxed and do your best. And so now I'll bring back Allie and Bridget.
And up next is Ray Frisbee, a senior at Hellgate High School. Woo!
Scale by Helen Moore. My weight is 4 whippets, 2 Chinese gymnasts, half a shot putter. It can be measured in bags of sugar, jam jars, enough feathers to fill 60 pillows, or a flock of dead birds. But some days, it is more than a house. The span of Blair Atal Road. I am the crooked spire, warping itself, doubled up over town. I measure myself against the sky in its winter coat. Peat traces in water, air locked in radiators at night. Against my own held breath, or your unfinished sentences. Your hand on my back like a passenger touching the dashboard when a driver brakes, as if they could slow things down. I measure myself against love, heavier, lighter than both of us.
Okay, so up next we're going to read a poem by Rupi Kaur titled To All Young Poets. Your art is not about how many people like your work. Your art is about if your heart likes your work, if your soul likes your work. It's about how honest you are with yourself, and you must never trade honesty for reliability.
That's a good one, Bridget. Thanks. Thank you for sharing. Our next poet is Gabriella Pallister, a freshman from Thompson, Florida.
The War Horse by Even Boland. This dry night, nothing unusual about the clip, clock, casual iron of his shoes as he stamps death like a mint on the innocent coinage of earth. I lift the window, watch the young feather of hawk and fetlock loose from its daily tether. In the tinker camp on the Enniskillen road, pass his breath hissing, his snuggling head down. He is gone. No great harm is done. Only a leaf on our laurel hedge is torn, with distant interest, like a maimed limb. Only a rose, which now will never climb the stone of our house. Expendable, a mere line of defense against him. A volunteer, you might say. Only a crocus, its bulbous head one of the screamless dead. But we are saved. Our unformed fear of fierce commitment gone. Why should we care if a rose, a hedge, a crocus are uprooted like corpses, remote, crushed, mutilated? He stumbles on like a rumor of war, huge, threatening. Neighbors use the subterfuge of curtains. He stumbles down our short street. Thankfully passing us, I pause, wait, and to breathe relief, lean on a sill. And for a second, only my blood is still with atavism. That rose he smashed phrase, ribboned across our hedge, recalling days of burned countryside, illicit braid, a cause, ruin before, a world betrayed.
Bridget, what building has the most stories?
I don't know, Laura. What building is it?
It's the library.
Ha! You're welcome.
So, first round went well. That was fun. Thank you, everyone. Great start off to the second round. Thank you, guys. We're going to introduce the next vote.
Okay. So, up next is Colleen May, a senior at Hamilton High.
April Love by Ernest Dowson. We have walked in love's land a little way. We have learnt his lesson a little while. And shall we not part at the end of day with a sigh, a smile? A little while in the shine of the sun, we were twined together, joined lips. Forgot how the shadows fall when the day is done, and when love is not. We have made no vows, there will none be broke. Our love was free as the wind on the hill. There was no word said we need wish unspoke. We have wrought no ill. So shall we not part at the end of day, who have loved and lingered a little while? Join lips for the last time, go our way with a sigh, a smile?
So, I'm going to play a little finger picking thing. The next poet is Peyton Sherman, sophomore from Central High School.
I am learning to abandon the world by Linda Paston. I am learning to abandon the world before it can abandon me. Already I've given up the moon and snow, closing my shades against claims of light. And the world has taken my father and friends. I've given up the lotted lines of hills, moving to a flat, tuneless landscape. And every night I give my body up, limb by limb, working upwards across bone towards the heart. The morning comes with small reprieves of coffee and birdsong. A tree outside the window, which was simply shadow moments ago, takes back its branches, twig by leafy twig. And as I take my body back, the sun lays its warm muzzle in my lap, as if to make amends.
Hey, Aurora, what do you do if your pets start eating your novel? What do? You take the words right out of their mouth. Yeah. You know, dinosaurs didn't read and now they're extinct. That could do it. So, our next reader is Anna Henninger, Jr.
Dresses Cowboy by Margaret Atwood. Star-spangled cowboy, sauntering out of the almost silly west. On your face a porcelain grin, tugging a papier-mâché cactus on wheels behind you with a string. You are innocent as a bathtub full of bullets. Your righteous eyes, your laconic trigger fingers people the streets with villains. As you move, the air around you blossoms with targets, and you leave behind you a heroic trail of desolation. Beer bottles slaughtered by the side of the road. Bird skulls bleaching in the sunset. I ought to be watching from behind a cliff or a cardboard storefront when the shooting starts, but I am elsewhere. Then, what about me? What about the I confronting you on that border you are always trying to cross? I am the horizon you ride towards, the thing you can never lasso. I am also what surrounds you, my brain scattered with your tin cans, bones, empty shells, the litter of your invasions. I am the space you desecrate as you pass through.
That's okay, we can project.
Alright, sing a song. We just wrote. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Poetry out loud is cool. Poetry out loud is cool. Poetry. Okay, the next presenter. The next presenter is. Yes. Kendall Wiles, a junior at Chrysalis School. Woo!
Spanglish by Tapalavia. Estoy creando Spanglish. Bicultural systems, scientific lexicographical intertextual integrations. 2 expressions, existentially wired. 2 dominant languages, continentally abrazándose, en colloquial combate en las aceras del sol. Imperio Spanglish emerges, control pandillage en territorio bilingual. Las novelas mexicanas mixed with radio rock and roll. Condimented cocinador. Immigrant, migrant, nasal mispronouncements. Baraja Chismeteos Social Club. Hip-hop prieto, street salsa, corner soul, and mixturando. Spanish pop farandula. Standard English classroom with computer technicalities. Spanglish is literally perfect. Spanglish is ethnically snobbish. Spanglish is cara holy inteligencia. Which U.S. slang do you speak?
Wordplay is another form of poetry, so I'm going to read you something of Latin once. Okay. Hey, Laura.
Yeah, Bridget.
I like your last name. Can I have it?
I don't want it social. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hey, Laura. Oh, want to announce the next person?
Yes, I do, Bridget. Thank you for asking. The next poetry reader is Sydney Schapp, a senior from Big Sky High School. Woo!
A Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend.
my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe, I told it not, my wrath did grow. I watered it with in fear, and morning and night with my tears, and I sunned it with smiles, and with a soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew, both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe, he beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And in the night, and into my garden stole. What was it? And when the night had veiled the pole, in the morning, glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna stop pretending that this is on. It's not. So on Ghosts vs. Zombies, soul without a body or body without a soul, like choosing between an empty lake and the same empty lake. Words of wisdom, Suzanne the Hum. Thus far in the Poetry Out Loud round 2, we're doing well. Thank you, poets. No, I do not. I would like to introduce the next poet.
The next poet is Joe McDonald, a sophomore at Colson High School. Let's go, Joe. Thank you.
Tarantulas on the Life Buoy by Thomas Lux. For some semi-tropical reason, when the rains fall, relentlessly they fall into swimming pools, these otherwise bright and scary arachnids. They can swim a little, but not for long, and they can't climb the ladder out. They usually drown. But if you want their favor, if you believe there is justice, a reward for not loving the death of ugly and even dangerous, the eel, hog snake, rats, creatures, if you believe these things, then you would leave a life buoy or two in your swimming pool at night. And in the morning, you would haul ashore the huddled, hairy survivors and escort them back to the bush and know. Be assured that at least these saved as individuals would not turn up again someday in your hat, drawer, or the tangled underworld of your socks. And that even when your belief in justice merges with your belief in dreams, they may tell the others in a sign language 4 times as subtle and complicated as man's, that you are good, that you love them, that you would save them again.
We're going to tell some more pickup lines. Hey, Laura.
Yeah, Bridget?
Like Cheerios, you're good for my heart.
That's a very good one, Bridget. Okay, you must be a magician because every time I look at you, I would like to introduce the next reader. Kennedy Wayner from the Hamilton High School. She's a senior. I hope you do great today.
The
This is an apology for her poetry by Duchess of Newcastle, Margaret Cavendish. I language want to dress my fancies in, the hairs uncurled, the garments loose and thin. Had they but silver lace to make them gay, they'd be more courted than in poor array. Or had they art, would make a better show. But they are plain, and yet cleanly do they go. The world in bravery doth take delight. And glistering shows do more attract the sight. And everyone doth honor a rich hood, as if the outside made the inside good. And everyone doth bow and give the place, not for the man's sake, but for the lace. Let me entreat in my poor book's behalf, that all will not adore the golden calf. Consider, pray, gold hath no life therein, and life in nature is the richest thing. Be just, let fancy have the upper place, and then my verses may perchance find grace.
Hey, I opened a page to a poem in this book, so I'm going to read it for the first time. This is called The Warning. Remember, boy, as long as you live, gourmet is not an adjective. Need my advice, take your heels from the joint that boasts of gourmet meals, and let this gourmet unleash his gourmet believe on this new bay riches. Yes. Woo! Well done. I know this really aggressive reader. He just loves to hit the post. Oh, thank you, everyone. So I'm gonna tell the next reader is Lily Williams, a senior at Hamilton High School.
It's Hellgate, not Hamilton. Enough, by Susan Buffman. I wear my dark glasses inside the house to match my dark mood. I've left all of the sugar out of the pie. My rage is sort of a domestic rage. I learned it from my mother, who learned it from her mother, before her, and so on. Surely the Greeks have a word for this. Now surely the Germans do. The more words a person knows to describe her private sufferings, the more distantly she can perceive them. I repeat the names of the cities I've known. I've watched an ant drag its crooked shadow home. What does it mean to love the life that we've been given to act? Well, the part that's been cast for us? Wind, light, fire, time. Train whistles through the far hills. One day, I plan to be riding it.
Bridget and I have another song for you. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. My name is Laura, and my name is Bridget, and we're here tonight to help y'all kick it.
rising sun restored my earth to joy. Have you departed, every one, and left a desert sky? All through the night your glorious eyes were gazing down in mine, and with a full heart's thankful sighs, I blessed that watch divine. I was at peace, and drank your beams as they were life to me, and reveled in my changeful dreams, like petrel on the sea. Thought followed thought, star followed star, through boundless regions on. And while one influence, near and far, thrilled through and proved us one. Why did the morning rise to break, so great, so pure a spell? And burn, scorch with fire, the tranquil cheek where once your cool radiance fell. Blood-red he rose, and arrow straight his beams, fierce beams struck my brow. The soul of nature sprang elate, but mine sank sad and low. My lids closed down, and yet through their veil I saw him blazing still. And bathe in gold the misty dale, and flare upon the hill. I turned to the pillow then, to call back night and see your worlds of solemn light again throb with my heart and me. It would not do. The pillow glowed, and glowed both roof and floor. The birds sang loudly in the wood, and fresh winds shook the door. The curtains waved. The wakened flies were murmuring round my room, imprisoned there till I should rise and give them leave to roam. O stars and dreams and gentle night, O night and stars, return, and hide me from that hostile light, which does not warm, but burn, and drains the blood from suffering men, drinks tears instead of dew. Let me sleep through his blinding rain and wake only with you.
I'm going to tell you guys a couple of puns. So, Bridget, I once wrote this book about Mount Everest. It was a real cliffhanger. Then the next speaker is Nicola Stone, senior at Thompson Falls High School. Woo!
The Paradox by Paul Laurence Dunbar. I am the mother of sorrows. I am the ender of grief. I am the bud and the blossom. I am the late falling leaf.
priest and thy poet, I am thy serf and thy king. I cure the tears of the heartsick. When I come near, they shall sing. White are my hands as the snowdrop, sword are my fingers as clay. Dark is my frown as the midnight, fair is my brow as the day. Battle and war my minions, doing my will is divine. I am the calmer of passions, peace is a nursling of mine. Speak to me gently or curse me, seek me or fly from my sight. I am thy fool in the morning, and thou art my slave in the night. Down to the grave I will take thee, out from the noise of the strife. Then shalt thou see me and know me, death then no longer but life. Then shalt thou sing of my coming, kiss me with passionate breath, clasp me and smile to have thought me, ought save the foam of death. Come to me, brother, when weary, come when thy lonely heart swells. I'll guide thy footsteps and lead thee down where the dream dwells.
Bridget, I just read a book about vacuums, and it sucked me in. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the second one in the series just sucked. Wait for that happens. Let's read a poem. I am going not to read a poem. I'm going to the next reader, Colleen Morrison, a junior from Folsom High School.
The Bookshelf of the God of Infinite Space by Jeffrey Skinner. You would expect an uncountable number, acres and acres of books in rows like wheat or gold bullion, or that the words just appear in the mind like banner headlines. In fact, there's one shelf holding a modest number, 10 or 12 volumes. No dust jackets, because no dust. Covers made of gold or skin, or golden skin, or creosote, or rain-soaked macadam, or some mix of salt and glass. You turn a page, and mountains rise. Clouds drawn by children bubble in the sky. You're 20 again, trying to read a map dissolving in your hands. I say you, and mean me. Say God, and mean librarian, who after long research offers you a glass of water and an apple. You, grateful to discover your name, a footnote in that.
I got a bunch of them, and I don't usually get an audience that has to listen.
Do they work, Bridget?
We'll see. Okay. Is your name Waldo? Because someone like you is hard to find. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay.
And no, we are not. The next reader
is Jordan Amaya, sophomore at Sentinel High School.
Friendship After Love by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. After the fierce midsummer olive blaze has burned itself to ashes and expires in the intensity of its own fires, there come mellow, mild St. Martin days crowned with a common peace, but sad with haze. So, after love has led us till he tires of his own throes, torments, and desires, comes large-eyed friendship. With a restful gaze, he beckons us to follow. Across cool, verdant vales we wander, free from care. Is it a touch of frost lies in the air? Why are we haunted with a sense of loss? We do not wish the pain back, or the heat, and yet, these days are incomplete.
meant by Walter Savage Landor. I loved him not, and yet now he is gone. I feel I am alone. I checked him while he spoke, yet could he speak? Alas, I would not check, for reasons not to love him once I sought, and wearied all my thought, to vex myself and him. I now would give my love, could he but live, who lately lived for me, and when he found 'twas vain and holy ground, he hid his face amid the shades of death. I waste for him my breath, wasted his for me, but mine returns, and this lorn bosom burns with stifling heat, heaving it up in sleep and waking me to weep tears that have melted his soft heart for years, wept he as bitter tears. Merciful God was his latest prayer. These may she never share. Quieter is his breath, his breast more cold than daisies in the mold, where children smell athwart the churchyard gate, his name and life's brief date. Pray for him, gentle souls, whoever you may be, and oh, pray too for me.
Next up, we're going to demonstrate how to do the business bro handshake. Business only. Well done. So the other day I was walking my dog. Yeah. And he was just so much faster than me. It was a real shame. And the next reader is Emily Solberg, a senior from Big Sky High School.
A Birthday by Christina Rossetti. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thick-set fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a halcyon sea. My heart is gladder than all these because my love is come to me. Raise me a dais of silken down, hang it with varied purple dyes, carve it in doves and pomegranates, and peacocks with 100 eyes, work it in gold and silver grapes, in leaves and silver fleur-de-lis. Because the birthday of my life has come, my love is come to me.
You know what's beautiful? Read the first word again. That would be really funny if we were reading Bridget. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is, again, the parents, as Ms. Gann mentioned earlier. We would like to thank the parents again because, first of all, a lot of you come here, and if you aren't here, you've still supported your child. So, thank you very much. Our next person is going to be Shaylee Emerson, a sophomore at Flathead High School. Thank you.
Famous by Naomi Nye. The river is famous to the fish. The loud voice is famous to silence, which knew it would inherit the earth before anybody said so. The cat sleeping on the fence is famous to the birds watching him from the birdhouse. The tear is famous briefly to the cheek. The idea you carry close to your bosom is famous to your bosom. The boot is famous to the earth more famous than the dress shoe, which is famous only to floors. The bent photograph is famous to the one who carries it, and not at all famous to the one who is pictured. I want to be famous to shuffling men who smile while crossing streets, sticky children in grocery lines. Famous is the one who smiled back. I want to be famous in the way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole. Not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do.
We're going to show you guys our percussion skills.
Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward, the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death, rode the 600. Forward, the Light Brigade, was their man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew, someone had wondered. Theirs not to make reply, theirs not to reason why, theirs but to do and die. Into the valley of death, rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell. Boldly they rode in well, into the jaws of death, in the mouth of hell, rode the 600. Flashed all their sabers bare, flashed as they turned in air, sabering the gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered. Plunged in the battery smoke right through the line, they rode percussion. Russian and Cossack reeled from the sabers' throat, shattered and sundered. And they rode back, but not the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered, stormed out with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell. They that had fought so well came through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of 600. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made, while all the world wondered. Onto the charge they made, onto the Light Brigade, no more 600.
Now we're going to play random page poetry. Ceremony. You are as faithful a widow as you were a wife, celebrating black marketing each anniversary of death, marriage, and birth until the calendar blooms with occasions like perpetual funeral and grief. Perhaps you can domesticate anything, teaching pain to heal at command. Lick your face with its rough tongue, eat from your plate, even the empty plates at the table can be a simple ceremony of absence.
Thank you, Bridget. Our next reader is Maya Winhover-Ness, featuring your poetry. Woo!
Refusing Silence by Tess Gallagher. Heartbeat, trembling your kingdom of leaves near the ceremony of water. I never insisted on you. I admit I delayed. I was the empress of delay. But it can't be put off now. On the sacred branch of my only voice, I insist. Insist for us all, which is the job of the voice, and especially of the poet. Else, what am I for? What use am I if I don't insist? There are messages to send, gatherings and songs, because we Else, what are we for? What use are we?
We're going to do a modern interpretation of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Mary met that lamb was sure to go. Okay, and up next we have Ethan Styler, a sophomore at Sentinel High School. Woo!
Dance Groups by William Carlos Williams. If I, when my wife is sleeping and the baby and Kathleen are sleeping, and the sun is a flame white disk in silken mists above shining trees, if I, in my north room, dance naked, grotesquely, before my mirror, waving my shirt round my head, singing softly to myself, I am lonely. Lonely. I was born to be lonely. I am best so. If I admire my arms, my face, my shoulders, flanks, buttocks against the yellow drawn shades, who shall say I am not the happy genius of my household?
I just read a book about Stockholm Syndrome. I hated it in the first couple chapters, but by the end I loved it. Yeah. So it was converted. I've been reading it again. Great. Yeah, never mind. The next reader is Maggie Hines, a junior at Chrysalis School. Woo!
Dream Song 14 by John Berryman. Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so. After all, the sky flashes, the great sea yearns, we ourselves flash and yearn. And, moreover, my mother told me as a boy, repeatedly, ever to confess you're bored means you have no inner resources. I conclude now I have no inner resources because I am heavy bored. Peoples bore me, literature bores me, especially great literature. Henry bores me with his plights and gripes as bad as Achilles, who loves people and valiant art, which bores me. And the tranquil hills and gin look like a drag, and somehow a dog has taken itself and its tail considerably away into mountains or sea or sky, leaving behind me, Wag.
I found a poem called The Cricket. I like the first two lines, so now I'm going to read it. I love to hear a cricket in my house, not so my spouse. And the next reader is Gabriela Maldonado, a senior at Big Sky High School. Woo!
There are birds here, by Jamal May, for Detroit. There are birds here. So many birds here is what I was trying to say. When they said that those birds were metaphors for what was trapped between buildings and buildings, no. The birds are here to root around for bread. The girls' hands toss and tear like confetti. And no, I don't mean the bread is torn like cotton. I said confetti. And not the confetti a tank can make of a building. I mean the confetti a boy can't stop smiling about. And no, his smile isn't much like a skeleton at all. And no, his neighborhood is not like a war zone. I'm trying to say that his neighborhood is as tattered and feathered as anything else. as shadow pierced by sun, and light parted by shadow dance as anything else. But they won't stop saying how lovely the ruins, how ruined the lovely children must be in that birdless city.
Okay, and up next is Claire Parsons, a senior at Hellgate High School.
The Enigma by Anne Stevenson. Falling to sleep last night in a deep crevasse between one rough dream and another, I seemed, still awake, to be stranded on a stony path, and there the familiar enigma presented itself in the shape of a little trembling lamb. It was lying like a pearl in the trough between one Welsh slab and another, and it was crying. I looked around, as anyone would, for its mother. Nothing was there. What did I know about lambs? Should I pick it up? Carry it? Where? What would I do if it were dying? The hand of my conscience fought with the claw of my fear. It wasn't so easy to imitate the Good Shepherd in that faded, framed Sunday school picture filtering now through the dreams daguerreotype. With the wind falling and the moon swollen to the full, small, white doubles of the creature at my feet flared like candles in the creases of the night until it looked to be alive with newborn lambs. Where could they all have come from? A second look, and the bleating lambs were birds, kittiwakes nesting, clustered on a cliff face, fixing on me their dark, accusing eyes. There was a kind of imperative not to touch them, yet to be of them, whatever they were. Now lambs, now birds, now floating points of light, fireflies signaling how many lost New England summers. One form, now another. One configuration, now another. Like fossils locked deep in the folds of my brain, outliving a time by telling its story. Like stars.
Well done, Claire. The next thing we're going to be doing here is another song. Are you ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last poem, so let's show them. No pressure, no pressure. This is the last poem, so let's show them. No pressure, no pressure. This is the last one, never mind, the last poet. Reader is Zach Wild, the song.
In a Dark Time by Theodore Redfield. In a dark time, the eye begins to see. I meet my shadow in the deepening shade. I hear my echo in the echoing wood. A lord of nature, weeping live between the heron and the wren, beasts of the hill and serpents of the den. What's madness but an ability of soul at odds with circumstance? The day's on fire. I know the purity of pure despair. My shadow pinned against the sweating wall. That place among the rocks, is it a cave or a winding path? The edge is what I have. A steady storm of correspondences, a night flowing with birds, a ragged moon, and in broad day the midnight come again. Man goes far to find out what he is. Death of the self in a long, tearless night. All natural shapes, blazing a natural light. Dark. Dark my light, and darker my desire. My soul, like some heat-maddened summer fly, keeps buzzing at the sill. Which eye is I? A fallen man, I climb out of my fear. The mind enters itself, and God the mind, and one is one, free in the tearing wind.
So that's the end of our readers for Poetry Out Loud. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Let's go. What are you saying? Just say it out loud.
Right now, though.
Oh, let's try it out. Okay. Okay, let's play the accordion, Bridget. So, I mean, yay! First of all, thank you everyone for coming, parents, judges, teachers, people, friends, loved ones, and especially the readers of poetry. Thanks to the poets who wrote the poetry. Let's just give a big hand to everyone here.
Okay. Wow. This is a big group. I love it. Okay, so everyone out there is probably firing up their cameras, and they're probably really glad that it's 8:30 and not 9:30, which I anticipated. You guys just rocked it. It's great. And the judges, too. That's very good decisions. Okay. So I think what I would like to do right now is just acknowledge all the work and the heart that went into your performances tonight. Thank you. You can all be very, very proud of yourselves, really. And I hope if you're an underclassman, you come back next year and you do it again. And I'm glad that you seniors are graduating and going out in the world like this, armed as you are. I'm going to mention, sorry, I'm not trying to be dramatic, that we have two alternates. The first alternate to state is Joe McDonald. The second alternate is Kenda Weigels. Kendra, is it Wiles?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry to murder it. And then I suppose I'm supposed to go in a certain order. This is why they don't let me be the MC. So usually you go backwards, right? Trembles and stuff. Okay, so, but I think it's important, I think it's really important though to
realize that once you go to state, all 8 of you, they're in Miami, everything starts over. So I think the placement and everything right now is only important because it means that you have 2 poems solid, and now you have to memorize a 3rd poem. So, without further ado, the first person going to state this year is Taylor Owens. Put these in the correct order, okay. 7th is Gabriella Pallister. Racking up points for the 6th place is Maggie Hines. I'm trying to get my steps in. Maya Nagin. I always say this one. Wynn Haberneski. Pity is they wrote out the phonetic spellings of their names and I don't have them on me. 4th is Claire Parsons. Third, Zach Weiland. Second place, Anna Hedinger. And Macaulay Morrison. Okay, so if we could bring the lights up, then I'll invite the audience to take photos. Maybe we could scrunch in a little bit, tall in the back kind of thing. Okay. Scrunch more. Or, I don't want to say clump up. All the grouping words are not particularly beautiful ones. Scrunching, clumping. Hey, how's that, you guys?